Okay, good afternoon. I am Jessica Carroll, the Interim Program Manager for Measure 110, and I'll be assisting with facilitation for today's meeting. The Oversight and Accountability Council welcomes and encourages community input. Members of the public are invited to submit public comments or get on our interested parties email list by emailing oha.measure110@dhsoha.state.or.us. That email address and more information about the council can be found on the Measure 110 OAC website. That link will be dropped in the chat. For more information or support with community engagement, please contact Sydney McConnell and she will drop her email in the chat. I see that we now have Morgan. Can we take a quick roll? Sydney? I apologize. I did not prepare. I did not, yeah. Sorry, I asked her to do 8 things at once. So let's just give Sydney a quick sec. Or if you like, Sydney, I could go ahead and call roll.
Sorry, just to get my stuff all situated here. If you could just say here when I say your name, we would greatly appreciate it. Amy?
Here.
Thanks, Amy. Keisha? Come back to Keisha. Melinda?
Here.
Hi, Melinda. Morgan? Nicole?
Here.
Thanks, Nicole. And I just totally spaced on the, oh, Ron, right in front of my face. Right in front of my face. Hi, Ron.
Hi.
Sorry, I just totally spaced on that. And Keisha, are you back? And I don't see Onisha. So right now we have 4.
Okay, I think Keisha's driving, and so
Yeah,
it's probably just not in a safe spot to unmute. And when she comes back, we'll make sure to, yeah. All right, and with that,
I messed up too. We have 5 Nicoles here.
okay, perfect. All right, welcome everyone. This is the second part of the subcommittee to choose the RAC members for. Oh, and there's Keisha just put I'm here in the chat. For the 944 rules, the temporary rules, right? We changed, I think it is 3. We have 3 small changes. Colleen, does that sound right to you? Yep. And so we are choosing the committee that's going to focus on those 3 small changes. All right. Zoom and try. Okay, so Morgan's gonna log out and try to come back, but we're still good with quorum. All right, so where we left off last time is we have categorized each applicant into the different categories. Sydney, can you share the last document that they saw? If you all remember this beautiful document. All right, so we have additionally, we took some time to go through. I know that there are some folks who wanted to look at the number of categories that folks fit in, right? And kind of look at those folks that fit into a number of those categories. Additionally, there was a thought to look at folks based on geographical location to ensure that we're representing as much of the state as possible. And I think we have a way to do both. Right. And so we built a spreadsheet. Okay. Sydney built a spreadsheet. I don't want to take, I don't want to, I want to give credit where credit is due. Sydney built it. And
Thank you, Sydney, for building a spreadsheet.
Yeah, she's fantastic. And so Sydney built a spreadsheet. That way we can go ahead and filter, right, in a way that is, in a way that is easier than using the spreadsheet that we sent out with everybody's identifying information. So I think the first thing we need to do is determine if anybody has a problem with looking at those folks who fill the most categories and geographical locations at the same time. We are doing that based on all of the feedback that we got on Thursday. If someone would, if that does not sound all right to you, please raise your hand and voice your concern. Hearing nothing, I think we can go ahead. So, Sydney, is there a way you can split your screen? Oh, Keisha.
Sorry, it's hard for you. Can you guys hear me?
Yes.
Checking all the boxes and geographical at the same time, like,
Yeah, we're gonna do.
or two different things.
So they are two different things, but we think that they marry well when we look at the spreadsheet, that there's a way we can keep both in mind while choosing the RAC committee members. So we're looking at both here, okay?
Okay.
Okay. Yep. All right, we'll give Cindy a quick, Sydney, I called you Cindy. We'll give Sydney a quick second. Thank you, Cindy. Been a while. All right. Now, if we sort by category, we get a pretty good list here of folks who cover a large part of the area, right? So now we can start looking at those different boxes, those different categories. So with this in mind, I would like to turn it over to Colleen to try to facilitate, sorry, Colleen, when Colleen's done snacking. Turn it over to Colleen to try, who can help facilitate this, and we can get through this. I think it's gonna go smooth sailing from here. Yeah.
Smooth sailing. Thanks. This is Colleen Needham, ODHS OHA Administrative Rules Program Manager. Thank you. I'm happy to help. I was just eating my Lucky Charms. I'm looking for all the sugary marshmallows. So what you're going to see is 1, 2, 3. The one on the left is our ID number. So that's our, kind of number that connects us back with an actual individual. That this way we can share something on the screen here. Lived experience, and I believe it's a yes, a no, or they did not answer, which we call no answer. And then which counties or regions services were provided in, and that was provided by the applicant. And then the categories is a number, and the number is assigned to how many categories each applicant fit into. Does that make sense? Not necessarily category 5 or category 4. It's that they fit into 5 categories. So just, I'm going to pause there before we go any further, just so people can kind of make sense of, I'm a visual person, so sometimes when you see numbers and lines and numbers again, it's confusing.
And real quick, actually, if we can hide the B category just for right now, I think that way we can look at the counties and the categories, and then we can add that in if we need it. And we already have applicant, we already have applicant 10 in there because applicant 10 was the only individual who represented the language category. Keisha.
It's kind of hard just looking at how many categories a person filled. I don't know, that's a hard one.
Well, we also have geographical, the geographic
Yeah, I got the geographical part, but like the categories, like, is it relevant, irrelevant? Like, you know,
Right.
the categories like treatment
yeah.
provider or peer provider, like just because they're in 5 categories, I just don't, that doesn't,
We do have the, on the, I don't know how everybody else is seeing it, but to me, it's on my right side of the screen, the rainbow categories and how we, you know, lived experience and all the applicants that fit into lived experience, all the ones that fit into treatment providers, even if they had duplicated. So that's the list that actually helps my brain, Keisha. The number of categories is just how many times they were kind of duplicated in each of the rainbows. So I'm
And
looking at that one.
And I think our goal is to go through each one of them, right? And then we have this second spreadsheet that we just oriented you to is there so that gives us some context. Because remember, that's how we got to language. So we are going to go through each one of these categories, and you all have the spreadsheet that we sent to you. We're just trying to do this to help aid the conversation. So if this isn't the only thing you have to look at, it's just trying to help make it easier.
Is there any way, Sydney, that we can make the document on the left be narrower or something so that there's not as many lines? Maybe that'll help people too. And then, did Amy have a comment?
I did. I think it's okay to at least be able to see the categories that they fit in so that we know who scored. You know, it's kind of like a scoring. It's to see who had the most, you know, experience in their lives in what categories and things like that. So I think category was very important to see with the numbered individual. But, you know, I like how this is set up so we can see it. I just hope that we remember to represent the rural areas out here.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I'm going to mute now for about 30 minutes.
Okay. Thanks, Amy.
Oh, and okay, Sydney's
Okay.
doing it. I just wanted to.
Yeah, Sydney's working on it. Yeah. So it's looking good. Thanks, Sydney. One of the ways that my brain does this, and you guys correct me if I'm wrong, I always like to do a level set and then kind of go, it's called low hanging fruit in my world. What can we select? Like how we selected language number 10, because that was the only person that had 10 language, but then also happened to have offered representation and would have other things. So like culturally specific and treatment provider, and I can't see the whole list. Ron, I see your hand up before I keep going with my thought.
No, I was just trying to get a sense of the how many different counties.
Yeah, did anybody do a look to see if there's any counties? We have 36 here in Oregon. Is there any that are not a
I
county?
mean, like, how many counties are represented by the
applicants.
the ones that we have that we've identified here? I mean, can you sort? Can you what is it called? Just in terms of the trying to figure out the word I'm looking for. If you were to go by A to Z, yeah.
That helps.
So we've got duplication in a number of counties. There's what, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 Loma, and then you've got all the rest. There's a duplicate in Jackson, duplicate in Lane, duplicate in Coos. I know that Keisha was really interested in this part. So Keisha, how would you want to select geographically?
Yeah, first I would want to filter and see what counties we do have represented and
So
go
there's
from there.
Right, so it looks like there's 24 counties accounted for in the list. And there are some people on the list, for example, number 12 represents multiple counties, number 9 represents multiple counties.
I didn't see how those count. You said it was 24 counties represented.
That's someone just did a quick count. So we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, yeah.
Mhm.
But we only have room for
I
9
seen like
people.
10 in Multnomah County, so I don't. How's all those others?
Well,
I'm a
there's
little.
Ben, Linton, Lincoln, Clackamas, Coos, Deschutes, Douglas, Josephine, Jackson, Lane, Lynn, Maher, Marion, Morrow, Wheeler, Grant, Gilliam, Umatilla, Polk, Columbia, Wasco, Union. Those counties are
It's
here.
that some people are representing multiple.
Right. So how would you like to deal with that?
Yeah. So some people are. Yeah, if they're representing multiple, that's like 5 counties covered in one person. You know, like.
So you prefer to go by county and less by category?
Yeah, I want to see the geographical makeup first. You know, to see how far we can stretch across Oregon.
Well, I mean, we have 12. We have so 1, 2.
One of the things we could
3.
do is, as we like, if we can select, if we've selected applicant number 10 in Multnomah, can we highlight Sydney on the left? Applicant number 10. Now that they're out of order, it's the one. There you go. Make them maybe purple to go with our, or something. Yeah, perfect. Yeah.
And are we saying that that representation is for the tri-counties or just Multnomah?
Well,
That's
if they,
actually, it's for the tri-counties. We put Multnomah, that is not where they serve. We're looking at the counties that they serve.
mhm.
No, I was just, for example, that's 3 counties represented right there.
Right. Mhm. Right. So we've got 3 already in our selection of that one for language. So I'm going to propose something, and I want to just practice it and see if it works. I'm going to propose that we look at harm reduction next. If we look at the rainbow chart, it only had 2 applicants that had harm reduction in their application, at least mentioned, number 16 and 25. So when I mean select someone low hanging fruit, I'm going to go with the categories that have the least amount of representation. So the 2 things I want you guys to look at for harm reduction is number 16, number 25. What's also really important to this group that I've heard over and over again is lived experience. So is number 16 or 25 in either of that area? And then what counties? Those are like going to be kind of the 2 touchstones that'll help us decide applicant number 16 or applicant number 25 for harm reduction. Want to do an exercise of looking at that? I'm just gonna start it and see if it works for us. So 16 and 25, if we go up to lived experience, looks like 16 isn't lived experience, or did indicate so, and 25 did. And now let's look at the counties, are Malheur and Multnomah. So just based on that information of where we put them in for representing harm reduction, does anybody have a, since we only have 2 applicants in that category, anybody have a pick, a vote rather, for 16? Any votes for number 25? Nobody is voting for either one.
Yeah, we need somebody in harm reduction. Yeah, Melinda or Ron, did you have your hand up?
No, I was opening up the.
Hang on, I'm trying. I'm looking.
I was opening up the.
Okay, take a minute, yeah. This will be a good time for me to pause. Jessica, can you leave for a sec while I go get water and stuff?
I would love to.
Thank you.
Okay, can I talk?
Absolutely.
Sorry, y'all, I'm almost home, but in the meantime, this is gonna be tricky. 16. I would vote for for 16 for the representative of harm reduction to be from the county where most harm reduction services will be provided. It'll be most representative. 25, I'm not sure has syringe exchange, they might, but either way, I vote for 16.
Okay, so we have a vote for 16. Do we have any other votes? We don't need to do the whole vote, like if we could get hands.
Where is Malheur County?
Way eastern Oregon,
Ontario.
and maybe the least populated county in the whole state.
Okay.
It's West Snake River Prison.
I would vote for 16.
Anybody have a problem with 16? Or
I don't know which is which, but I know we need to capture rural and frontier areas also.
Malheur is the most frontier county in the state.
Okay. I can't see which one is which, so.
so 25 is Malheur.
I'm sorry.
16 is
All right, I'm
Malheur.
reading it wrong then. So we're for 16, which is the most, so Morgan voted for Multnomah County, which I also agree with. And I would add Malheur County also, because it's frontier.
So you want both of those?
Yeah,
So 16 also serves multiple count. This is where the categories would come up because maybe 16 could fill another category
yes.
because they represent Malheur. Is that what you're trying to say?
Yeah, so let's add them in and then come back to that point. So one thing we want to keep in mind is that we don't want to end up kind of voting for every single applicant to be on the RAC. So remember, we're trying to aim for one per category. But like we said, 16 and 25 are in other areas.
Malheur is
And for me,
rural harm reduction is great.
and for me, I would go with the frontier county because Multnomah, has the most harm reduction, and like they have the services, and probably the frontier is more in need. For me, it's
Yeah, we're
That's
not gonna
my
be
view.
talking about harm reduction. We're gonna be talking about expungements and supported employment.
so I'm just wondering, so why is that, and why would you move harm reduction to the top though? And then we're talking about harm,
Because
we
they
just voted on
identified
harm
that as,
reduction,
they identified that as a category.
right? So then we just talked about, like Morgan voted for the county,
Well,
the
I'm
area
just trying
most
to move this
populated.
along because it seems to
Right.
be getting bogged down into semantics and whatnot.
But it's contradictory, so I'm not understanding.
Okay, y'all. So we have these buckets, these boxes, these categories. We need at least one person. We're trying to keep this at 9 people, learning our lesson from our last track where we had like 30. So using our lessons learned, we're trying to pick 9 people that represent these categories, and also they are going to be making comments that you can either accept or reject on 3 small changes to your rules, not the entire rules, just the 3 small changes to the rules.
Yeah, I'm just trying to agree with you,
Keisha has her
Keisha,
hand
so
up.
we can, Keisha, I'm just trying to agree with you about geography, rural county, so we can move along.
And thank you, Ron. Onisha?
Yeah, I just ask that people not interrupt other people because some of us are really trying to listen so we can understand clear.
Thank you, Onisha. That's a really good point. And it looks like Colleen has a request for Sydney.
Yeah, would you mind, Sydney, on where we have the applicant number and county represented? God, if we had to have a line for the country represented, we'd be in trouble. The county can we add the like the category lived experience just so we can kind of see it there? And no rush on that. So did we agree that we were going to select 25 for applicant number 25 for harm reduction, or were we still kind of undecided?
Yeah, I think the more we go into the, oh, Onisha, is your hand still up?
No.
Yeah, I guess I'm just confused as to whether we're doing, because, you know, Keisha clearly wants to do the counties. But then now you're talking through the categories, and it feels like it's kind of making us a little stuck.
Okay, yeah, here, let me try a different. If Sydney, can you scroll up on the right chart so we can see the categories? Thanks. So what I'm trying to get at, and anybody jump in, is I'm trying to get us on that bottom right box where we have applicant number, county represented, and category. I want us to eventually have one person, one applicant selected per category. So a total of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. And so I'm trying to combine the information. And so the reason I selected harm reduction, even though it's in the middle, it's category green, was because it only had 2 applicants. So trying to aim for selecting one from each of those categories. And just because we had to select one applicant. So that's why I was saying compare. If we're going to try and select the person for harm reduction, we have number 16, number 25. And then the document on the left shows what counties they represent. So that's important information that we wanted to discuss. So weigh that and the fact that applicant number 16 and 25 are in things like lived experience, which I hear is important to you guys as a council, but also see where those numbers are repeated throughout the rest of the document. And can we select one applicant? And so balancing for this instance, harm reduction was an example. We have number 16 and number 25. So we saw where their counties were. 16 was Multnomah and 25 was Malheur. And then we also looked at lived experience. 16 is in Multnomah, but has no lived experience. 25 has lived experience and is also from Malheur, a frontier county. And could you vote between the two, selecting 16 or number 25? Does that make more sense? What I was trying to get us to get down to, like, and vote on or select? Keisha, I see your hand, go ahead.
For me, I think we're getting stuck on harm reduction. I don't know that these other people don't have harm reduction. I mean, because the application wasn't really, what do you call it, tailored towards this RAC. I don't know. I just don't want to get caught up because only 2 people mentioned don't mean that others don't have it, and we're kind of getting stuck.
Okay, so yeah, so that's a perfectly good point. So one thing to keep in mind when we fill out these applications, as people filling them out, right? From we work for them or work with them or have gone through the service or done a lived experience doesn't mean that what we want to bring to a RAC environment is. So if they didn't fill out and indicate that in their application, perhaps they were focusing on other areas they did want to bring in their representation to be on the RAC. So that's why it's sometimes better when we look and think less about an actual individual, especially if we might know either the facility they work in or the name of that person, to think about only 16 and 25 mentioned in their application harm reduction. Is that, and I don't know enough about the application itself. That's where I'll lean on Jessica to see if, like, what it said, because I think Angela had worked on that. Does that answer your question, Keisha?
So
Sorta.
go ahead, Keisha.
Not really, because really this is a lot supportive employment heavy, but no applicant indicated that, but it doesn't matter really.
Well, this is, I think where we're at right now, Keisha, is this is the application that was posted. These are the applicants we have. It might not be perfect, but this is what we have. And
I'm not saying it's perfect. I'm just saying I don't want to get stuck on like only 2 people mention it, not saying that others might not,
right.
when the application wasn't really tailored for it.
Right. So what we can learn next time is to tailor the application for the.
Yes.
Yeah.
And we only have until, like, And in order to get these rules done, we have to have this done today. So I just want to point that out to y'all. And, you know, unfortunately, we're on a timeline. Keisha,
Make a suggestion. I'm sorry.
go ahead, Morgan.
What if we do ranked choice voting and each of us pick 9 applicants and we see who gets the most votes between us, and those are the 9 people? Because coming to a consensus seems to be proving challenging. So perhaps we could choose an alternate pathway to reaching the 9 people
Fair enough.
if we're not going to have a unanimous decision.
I mean, I think we're gonna have to vote at the end if I'm not mistaken, but I mean, we could try that. Yeah. Amy?
Well, I mean, we've got 2 that mentioned it, harm reduction, but this isn't about the burn or the RAC. This is about us getting something done today and not getting hung up on the little stuff. And we can't do it, people. We got to make decisions. So I think the application is what it is, and we just need to start looking through and see, yes, who scored where and who's, you know, where they're at with their numbers and how many categories they did fit in. We know that LGBTQIA2S+ is a huge one for people. We know that culturally specific is a huge one for people, and having lived experience, right? We know that. And then we go from there and narrow it down. So, I mean, we can do this. This is easy. This doesn't have to be linguistically and legitimately hard.
Thanks.
Thanks, Amy. Ron?
I was just gonna say, so we have 10 and 25, and I thought 16. So it's the idea that we'll just fill in these 9 and then we'll just vote on the 9.
That was the hope, yeah.
So,
I'd like to put number 3 in there if I could. I'd vote for that.
Okay, hold on.
Yeah.
What?
First, I want to respond to Keisha's comment about we are still considering county. So when we look at the categories, we're then switching over and looking at the county. And that's how we're deciding between the numbers. Like, for instance, we can add, Sydney, why don't you add number 16 for applicant number and keep them under green, harm reduction for now? But I want to move to peer providers, and maybe this will help. So
yes.
I'm sorry, did we land on 16?
I think we didn't. We landed on keeping both 16.
Well, Morgan had suggested 16, I think.
Okay.
Is that right, Morgan?
I mean, that's what I said, but the only reason I said that is because I'm not sure Malheur County has syringe exchange, and if that's a large portion of harm reduction services, I'm not sure it's representative, but I really do not care at all. I don't think this matters very much. I don't even think any of these rule changes proposed have much to do with harm reduction services. So I'm content with whichever everyone else is content with. I mean, there's
so
2
am I.
options here, so we have 50-50 odds.
I'm agreeing with you.
All right, so we have 25. Most people said that.
So we're at peer providers?
Peer providers.
So you have between applicant number 1, 3, and 8. So if we go over and highlight 1, 3, and 8 on the counties.
Am I taking 16 off then?
Yeah.
Just leave it how it is.
I'll leave it.
Yeah.
Yep.
So which numbers then?
1, 3, and 8. I see 8 is Coos, 3 is Marion, and 1 is Multnomah. So thinking first and foremost about those with the geography, as Keisha's requested. And then looking at the rainbow chart 1, 3, and 8. 1, 3, and 8 are all lived experience. So that's still the county differential is the only thing that's different. Treatment providers only number 8. Culturally specific representation only number 8. And that's it.
And that's Coos County?
Coos County was number 8.
Well, I would vote for number 8 going on the list.
Me too.
Okay. Does anybody not want number 8? So everybody likes number 8.
All right, we have 8.
Yay! We're getting it. Yeah, let's just have to get into our groove. Okay. So that's color yellow. Wait, yeah, peer provider. I know Sydney's computer takes a minute. She's working. I can see her eyes moving back and forth. Okay, how about we go to youth? Youth is the magenta category, 6, 16, 19, and 20.
Oh, Sydney, just real quick. I told you to keep it the way it was because I wasn't seeing the update on my end. Can you take 16 out of harm reduction? Just take that out. There you go. Sorry. It takes a minute for everything to catch up to everything you've done, at least on my end. Sorry.
Yeah.
Okay, be quiet. Youth, 6, 16, 19, and 20.
6, 16, 19, and 20. So 6, if I can look at it why she's doing that, is Wasco. 16 is Multnomah. 19, Clackamas. And 20, oh, the one that's highlighted, Greater Portland. So the ones that Sydney has graciously grayed out for us: Clackamas, Greater Portland, Multnomah, and Wasco.
But I would add Wasco and Clackamas if I were deciding.
Okay, and then so if we're looking at those kind of in Ron's line of thought, Wasco number 6, and you said 19?
Yeah,
Okay, 19 and 6 are also in categories. 19 is lived experience. Is the only one that's lived experience. 9, 9, 6, 16, 19, culturally specific, which also is number 20, is culturally specific. People with disabilities is number 20. 6, 60, and LGBTQIA, Two-Spirit Plus is 16, 19, and 20. So 16 had quite a few categories and was Multnomah County. 6 was 1.
6 fits in 1. Looks like 19 fits in quite a few and is Clackamas, which is not Multnomah.
But it's the tri-counties though, right?
And this is, remember, these are counties that they, I don't want to say service, provide services in.
So Keisha, who do you want for this category?
What is it for?
Youth.
Youth.
What is it?
Youth.
You. I'm still on geography.
Yeah, so look at the gray, so Clackamas, Greater Portland, Multnomah, or Wasco. Those are the youth counties we had for geography.
I would go with Wasco.
So I know Ron said 6 or 19, so it sounds like Ron would be okay with Wasco. Yes, Ron? You okay with 6? Anybody have a problem with 6? We good to go on 6? I guess we're good to go on 6.
Good job. I feel like it's like an auction. Auction. Like six.
6 going once, going
Going
twice.
once.
I'm not a good auctioneer though. I can't make that bit.
No, I'm not good at that either. Okay, while Sydney catches up with our colorfulness, I'm gonna go to the next category that had the least amount of, we're getting into more, so people with disabilities. Whew, okay, ready? We're gonna have more. 10, 17, 20, 22, 25, and 27. So let's see if we can find the counties. 10 was tri-counties. Oh, 10 we already are using, so for language. So just keep that in mind that we can ask that person to be there for language and people with disabilities. So I'm going to skip 10 for now because we already selected that person. 17.
Multnomah and Clackamas.
Multnomah,
So is
Clackamas,
it, I'm sorry, I'm just wondering, so is it already covered?
people with disabilities?
Yeah.
Perhaps. Yeah. By applicant, that's also for language. We can ask them to do. I mean, when we put an applicant in categories, they're presumably ready to represent all the categories of which they expressed in their application. So
Also, 10 and 25 are both on that list, and they're both already on and chosen for other
for
categories.
another thing. So maybe we'll skip that one for now. Or can we add? Ugh, that's going to get confusing for me right now. Okay. And I don't want Sydney to do that. Have we already selected? So I guess here's where my brain went. So you're all following me. I was going to ask Sydney if we could add, because Jessica just mentioned that 10 and 25 are already on the people with disabilities list. Could we add applicant number 10 and 5 and put them people with disabilities? Right, exactly, next to language and harm reduction. Or do you guys want to select somebody else for that list?
I mean, it's covered.
Covered,
For
so
me,
we're
I'm
good.
sorry, I can't see the hand. I mean, we can come back if,
Yeah.
need be, but I mean, it's covered. We're looking for spots that's
Okay,
unfilled.
perfect. Because I think at the very least, at the end of this, what we'll do is take the people that we've selected and then say, okay, what are all the categories there are? That way you can see some are going to be doubled up, tripled up. Lived experience might be on all of them, right? Or almost all of them. So we'll see that certain categories definitely have more than one representative. Okay, I'm gonna skip that for now. I like Keisha's suggestion that we've already got that covered in 2 of our selections. So I want to go to LGBTQIA 2-Spirit Plus for 400. Just kidding. It felt like a Jeopardy. It felt like a Jeopardy reference. Numbers there. So let's see what Sydney is already on top of it and knowing what I was going to ask. She is highlighting, like Vanna White, all the letters. You'd think I'd watched so many. What are those shows called? Like game shows. There you go. All the categories that are on the geography. So do you see the list? So LGBTQIA 2-Spirit Plus is taken care of too by the harm reduction applicant number 25 as well. But we also see representation in other geography areas, other counties. Benton, Lynn, Lincoln is applicant number 12. Another Clackamas, Douglas, Southern Lane, and Josephine, which we don't have yet. Greater Portland, which we do. Jackson County, which we don't. Lane and Lynn. Multnomah, and then 2 that do not mention the areas they serve. because perhaps they don't serve areas, maybe their lived experience. So is anybody in that list for LGBTQIA Two-Spirit Plus standing out to anyone? Just based on the geography. Anyone that we want to zero in on? Like
Yep.
for instance,
We're gonna need some help here, y'all. We
like for
can't make-
instance, the Douglas, Southern Lane, and Josephine. I think that's the only time those ones are mentioned. We have a lane, but not a Southern Lane.
I mean, Southern Lane and Josephine.
Let's see, the other lane is Lynn. And then the other lane is just not in this category. And then there was another one. Oh, and there's only 2 Jackson County, but only one from this LGBTQIA Two-Spirit Plus in Jackson, applicant number 11.
I would go with applicant 11.
Okay. And let's just look at applicant 11 has also lived experience, treatment provider, and obviously the LGBTQIA Two-Spirit Plus category we're looking at. If we looked at the Douglas, Southern Lane, Josephine, that's applicant number 9, also lived experience. And then that's it.
All right, sounds like we have 11. Anyone have any, Morgan put 11 up. Anybody have any feelings, thoughts before we put 11 down? All right, 11 it is.
11 it is. Good job, guys. Okay, so next category, let's do blue, culturally specific representation. And we're gonna have a few people, like number 8, who's already on there for peer providers. 9, 10, 12. 9 and 10 also have lived experience. Oh, I just lost my blue. There we go. My eyes are getting crossed. 16, 18, and 19. 19 is also on the youth LGBT QIA Two-Spirit Plus. 18 and 19 are also lived experience.
Lots of geographical representation here.
Yeah. Few more Multnomas and Greater Portland and Clackamas and Tri-County. But we also have Douglas, Southern Lane, Josephine again, and the Benton, Lynn, and Lincoln. So if we didn't select number 12 and 9, A Two-Spirit Plus, they're also in the culturally specific category. So a lot of.
Any thoughts? Who y'all choose?
16. Hey, Sydney, in the left-hand bar, can you show the amount of boxes again? You know, that thingy. There we go. So like number 19 is in 5 categories. This is where this I think is helpful. Number 10 is already on the board for language, and they're in 5 categories. Number 16, Multnomah, is in 4 categories. And so is number 8, who's already on the board, is in 4 categories.
Hold on, the sort, since that was hidden, the sort doesn't apply to that. So the sort's messed up, so I'm gonna hide it back.
Oh, okay.
Number 10's only in 1 category.
Okay, apologize.
Sorry. No, that's my bad because it was hidden. It didn't get stuck in there. Sorry.
Okay, no, it's okay.
All right, so do we have any thoughts about who we want to choose?
Can you restate the numbers?
8, 9, 10, 12, 16, 18, 19, 20, 21, 26, and 27.
Oh, this is culturally specific.
Yes, this is culturally specific.
Thanks.
Sorry.
You have a thought, Ron?
Well, keeping with our rural theme, I would think number 12 should go on there.
All right, Keisha?
I was just wondering, did we have any tribal representation from across the state?
You'll have to look in your applications because when we put people into the category of culturally specific, we included tribes in there.
I think tribes was a separate question.
Can I call out real quick? Melinda would like to see number 19.
Is there a way to look at your spreadsheet with your applicants that shows tribes? Is there a quick way to look at it? Was it a quick?
So is anybody, I was trying to circle back to number 12. I'm not sure that Keisha's question stops number 12 from being considered. So if are folks okay with number 12 going on the list? Does anybody have any objections to it?
Somebody just suggested 19, I thought. Those are
Okay,
the two who've been suggested. 19 is Clackamas and 12 is Benton, Lynn, and Lincoln.
well, that's a pretty good spread. I would say I would want both on there.
12 and 19.
It's 4 counties right there, plus lived experience, plus LBGT, plus culturally specific. It's pretty good.
And you maybe could do that because you didn't choose one for another one.
People with disabilities.
That would make, seems like everyone happy.
Yeah,
So-
let's do it.
So Benton, Benton, so is it 12 and 15 or
It's 12 and 19.
do we have anybody from Lane though? The first one you suggested, 15?
$15 is Lane. We could add all 3.
We can.
12, 15, and 19.
Because 15 and 19 also have lived experience, which is our next box. 12, 15, and 19. None of them have people with disabilities, but categories we already had those. 10. Oh God,
So-
I'm gonna.
Or is everybody okay with those 3 going on? So we'd almost be done.
Yeah, I was just gonna say.
I'm good with this.
Yeah, I'm good with it.
I'm good.
So adding 12, 15, and 19. So we have one spot because we like, actually, you know what? We should do 2 more spots.
12, 15, and 19, that would cover everything. That would cover everything, right?
Mhm. Is there anybody, if you look to your applications or the notes that you took or the lists or anything based on the geographic reference that we're missing? Like number 23, applicant number 23 is from, or not from, is representing Morrow, Wheeler, Grant, Gilliam, and Umatilla counties. Number 9, I don't believe got selected. That was the Douglas, Southern Lane, and Josephine. We've got someone from Jackson. Applicant number 5 is from I keep saying that, representing Umatilla, Wasco, Malheur, and Union County.
I'd like to see number 23 get on there just for the
Umatilla County.
Umatilla, Morrow County area.
Okay, let's
23.
look at number
agree.
23.
I agree.
I agree too.
23 is a treatment provider. And has our regional that we like.
So is 5 on there or is 5 not on there?
Number 5 has not made the list yet. We were talking about someone that represents a similar area, number 23, has similar counties. 23 just also has Gilliam and Grant.
I can't see the spreadsheet. I was just wondering the difference between the two, besides the second, the two extended counties, like what, like
Okay,
The
yeah, let me
difference is,
see. So
difference is
number,
sorry.
yeah,
Wasco is already, so number 5 has Wasco, and I thought we already did Wasco.
for youth.
Yeah, and
5 is
number 5
on
also
lived
has Malheur. We already covered Malheur.
I know, cause he,
5 only has lived experience, whereas 23 has not lived experience, has a treatment provider, and that's it. So those are those two places are, one is lived experience and one is treatment provider, besides the county similarity.
I like the fact, Keisha, that it covers out here where our rural area is at.
I'm all for it. I just was wondering what was the difference between the two candidates, but
I think that was
I'm all
the
for
difference.
that one. 23,
Yeah.
it's good.
Thank you, dear.
All right, so it sounds like we have a list.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, so I think we make a vote now, right? That's the next step. Okay,
Woo!
I'd like to make a motion that we accept this list for sending out invitations to the 944 Rules Advisory, Temporary Rules Adjustment on Supported Employment Expungement, whatever that other thing was.
wow, Ron, that was a very long
I
motion.
second.
Hold on. We gotta,
Sorry, I just make a motion that we accept this list of RAC membership.
okay, perfect. Okay, let's let Cindy type that out.
Does he need a second? Bill, I second, if so.
Okay, Melinda seconded. All right, we're gonna give Cindy 1 second, or a quick chance to get that logged in, and then we'll do a vote, and then we will give you your evening back.
Yay. Good job, guys.
Okay, so motion to approve this list for RAC membership, which I have taken off the screen, but was up till just a second ago. Amy, how do you vote?
Yes.
Keisha?
Yes.
Melinda?
Yes.
Morgan?
Yes.
Nicole?
Yes.
Onisha?
Yes.
And Braun.
Yes.
All right, it's unanimous, passes.
Okay, can you turn this off, please?
Oh, yep. Okay, yep, we're gonna. Okay, bye, y'all.